Right now, you believe you exist. You have memories, your childhood, your friends, what you had for breakfast. You trust your own mind. But what if I told you there is a scientifically serious theory that says you might have just popped into existence 1 second ago, fully formed, with every memory you've ever had, pause X week, completely fake, and what's worse, physics might actually allow it. To understand this, we need to talk about entropy. Entropy is basically the universe's obsession with disorder. Everything, a hot cup of coffee, a tidy room, a living body, naturally trends toward chaos. Things fall apart. That's the second law of thermodynamics. Now here's where it gets interesting. Our universe started in an incredibly ordered low-entropy state, the Big Bang, and it's been expanding and cooling and growing more disordered ever since. But physicists who study the very far future, trillions upon trillions of years from now, ask a disturbing question. What happens when the universe reaches maximum entropy? When every star has died, every black hole has evaporated, and nothing meaningful is happening anywhere? The answer is something called the heat death of the universe, an infinite expanse of near nothingness, a cold, dark, almost perfectly uniform void. Almost. Because quantum mechanics says that even in perfect emptiness, things can still fluctuate. This is where the physicist Ludwig Boltzmann, back in the 1800s, stumbled into something deeply unsettling. Boltzmann was trying to explain why our universe is so ordered. He suggested maybe we just got lucky. Given infinite time, random fluctuations in the void could very, very rarely produce something ordered. But here's the horrifying implication. If random fluctuations can produce an ordered universe, they can also produce something much smaller, like, say, a single brain, floating in the void of space, complete with every neuron, every memory, every sense of self, assembled purely by chance. This is called a Boltzmann brain, and here's the gut punch, statistically. It is astronomically more likely for a single brain to spontaneously fluctuate into existence than for an entire ordered universe to do so. Which means, if you believe our universe will last forever, or if you believe in an infinite multiverse, the vast majority of conscious observers in existence wouldn't be beings like us who evolved over billions of years. They would be Boltzmann brains, lonely, fleeting minds that popped into existence for a moment before dissolving back into chaos. So the question becomes, which one are you? Now you might be thinking, this is just philosophy, weird thought experiment stuff. It's not. The Boltzmann brain problem is considered a genuine crisis in cosmology. Physicists like Sean Carroll, Alan Guth, and Don Page have written serious academic papers on it. It's not a joke, it's a flaw, a potentially fatal one, in our models of the universe. Here's why it matters. If a cosmological theory predicts that Boltzmann brains vastly outnumber normal observers like us, most physicists consider that a sign the theory is wrong. Because if the theory were true, it would be almost infinitely improbable that you, a person with a consistent, coherent, universe-backed experience, would exist instead of a fleeting, phantom mind. The fact that you seem to have a consistent past, that the laws of physics seem to work, that other people seem real, all of that is actually evidence against you being a Boltzmann brain. But here's the twist. A Boltzmann brain would think exactly that. It would have false memories of a consistent universe. It would feel completely confident in its own reality, just like you do right now. Let's talk about time, because this is where it gets truly incomprehensible. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old. That's a big number. But physicists talk about something called a Poincare recurrence time, the time it would take for a closed system, given enough time, to return to a state close to its original configuration just through random chance. For a system the size of our universe, that number is so large it makes the current age of the universe look like a rounding error. We're talking 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 10, a number that doesn't have a name because human language was never designed to count that high. In that kind of infinity, everything that can happen will happen, not once, not a million times, infinitely, including you.
Or something exactly like you, with all your memories, sitting somewhere in empty space, having never actually lived a life at all. Just sparked into being, convinced it's real, and then gone. So is there any way out of this? Some physicists think yes. The leading idea is that if the universe expands forever and accelerates in that expansion, the amount of time available for random fluctuations might be cut short. In an eternally expanding universe, regions of space get disconnected from each other. The window for mischief closes. Others argue the solution is in quantum gravity, that once we have a proper theory unifying quantum mechanics and general relativity, the Boltzmann brain problem might dissolve entirely. And some philosophers argue that the problem is actually self-defeating. If you are a Boltzmann brain, your ability to even reason about this is unreliable, so the argument defeats itself. That's somewhat comforting. But here's what no one can take away. We live in a universe where this question is not ridiculous, where physicists write papers about whether the consciousness reading these words right now is the product of 4 billion years of evolution, or a random fluctuation that began 30 seconds ago. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to us. It is vast beyond imagination, old beyond comprehension, and indifferent to whether we understand it or not. The Boltzmann brain isn't just a thought experiment. It's a mirror the cosmos holds up and asks, what makes you so sure you're real? Maybe the fact that you're asking the question is the answer. Or maybe that's exactly what a Boltzmann brain would think. Sleep well. If you like this video, subscribe. It helps more than you know. And if you want to spiral further into the abyss, the next video is right there waiting for you. See you in the void.